Missed one. All right. Hello, hello, hello. It is Cassandra Terry, and it is the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. And today is Wake Up Wednesday. I've got two of the Fam Five with me, so we're three of five at the moment. Brian Smart, Mr. Content, was first in the room today, so I know he would not like me to not make that clear that he beat you in this morning, Jay. So
Appreciate you, Jay.
Brian's here, Mr. Mr. Content first on first base, and coming up right behind him, we've got Jay Pasqua, the storytelling strategist. I'm Cassandra Terry. I am a life coach who focuses on mindset. And today, our focus is really on intentionality, being intentional. Let's see. I see you guys are coming in. Thanks for joining us on TikTok. Let's see a couple of comments already. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the quote. Let me share that with you guys. It's becoming pretty common to start with the quote, and then that really supports what we're focused on for the day, which, as I mentioned, was intentionality. So we'll start with that, and then we'll go to Brian, and then to Jay, and see how that quote hits them, what comes to mind. So the quote of the day is: living intentionally is not about doing more. It's about doing more of what matters. And that reminds me of, hey, Brian, I see Eric asking for the link, or Jay, can one of you guys share it with them so he can join us? When we talk
Yeah,
about,
absolutely.
thank you, doing more of what matters, it's about being intentional in where you use your resources, your time, your focus, your energy, your finances. Are you using those things in a way that supports the life that you're trying to build? That's what we mean by it's living intentionally is not about doing more. It's about doing more of what matters. I have a definition of busy and productive that I talk about quite often. When you're busy, we're all busy. It's just kind of the nature of the beast, right? So when you're busy, you are doing a lot of stuff. But when you are productive, you're doing the right stuff at the right time to accomplish the things that are important to you. Let me see. Eric, I think Eric's going to come on this way today. So, which is kind of cool. So the folks on Instagram will have more than just me joining. So hopefully he's there. He sent a request. Yes, he joined. All right. Can you see me, Eric? I don't see you. There we go. I'm accepting. Instagram's not playing nice. I'm trying to get you on camera, Eric. Let's see. And did you guys already put the link in the group, Brian?
Yeah, I did.
All right. For some reason, Instagram is not letting me bring you on camera, Eric. Which I think would be great if it did. It's giving me the option to accept, but nothing is happening. So I don't know if that's going to work or not. It says you're unable to join, um, but we did put the link in the. Oh, this may work. Let's see. We'll try it one more time, and then I'm going to have to get back focused here. All right. If that doesn't work, just check the LinkedIn fam group, Eric. They put it back out there for you, so you should be able to join the usual way.
There
There
you
you are. There you
the
are.
whole time you were talking, I was on here waiting to get on, and I saw the Instagram thing come up, but I was like, she's gonna see me any second now.
Good
Oh yeah,
morning. Good
I
morning.
was laser focused on Instagram
Yeah,
because you were requesting to join, so I was trying to get you on camera there, which would have been
I
cool
was like,
too because the people on Instagram, they only see me. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
okay, well, that works.
Yeah.
That works as well.
Yeah.
But all right, we're here. We're here. So
Yeah.
for sorry for that technical difficulty, folks. We'll get back on track now. Denise is traveling, so I know she won't be with us today. She's doing great things in Grenada, and she has additional meetings this morning from that trip. So we are proud of that sister and for what she's accomplishing. Um, so it'll be four of the fam five with you guys today. Good morning, Kim. I see you there. And Camille said, morning, all glorious. Wake up, win in Wellness Wednesday. I like that. Thanks for sharing it with Jay. So there you are. I don't know if you can see it, but Jay is sharing your comment there, so we can see your beautiful picture as well as your comment, Camille. So thanks for being with us and being so supportive as always. So let me go back to the quote and get us back on track here, which is living intentionally is not about doing more, it's about doing more of what matters. And that's from Greg McKeown. And what we mean by that is about being really conscious, being aware, being mindful of how you're spending your resources. Or is the time that you're spending, is what you're doing, is where you're focused, is how you're spending your funds, are all of those things coming together to create the life that you desire? And that's a question that for you to answer only with yourself. It's a personal question. You know what it is deep down that you really want. And so at any point in time, you could ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I doing? Is it supporting my dreams? Is it supporting my goals? Is it going to get me from where I am right now, point A, to where it is I would like to be, point B? And if the answer is yes, double down and keep doing it. Do more of it and be proud of yourself for focusing in on what's important to you. If the answer is no, then don't beat yourself up. Don't prolong it. Just get back on track. Take a good look at how you're spending those resources and determine, no, this isn't going to get me where it is I want to go. So instead of this, I should spend my time doing that, and have those honest, candid conversations with you so that you feel good. And then that way you can see the progress. Because if we spend our time doing the things that are going to get us where it is we want to go, it's going to happen for you. You will see the progress, and you'll be able to look back in a week and go, okay, I'm 5 days closer than I was when this week started. In a month, I'm 30 days closer to my goal than where I was, because you're spending your time not just being busy doing a lot of stuff, but you're spending your time actually being productive, doing the things with your time that are going to get you where it is that you need to go. There's a difference. Everybody's busy. Stuff. We're doing lots of stuff. But there's only a few of us that are productive, doing the right stuff at the right time to create the life that you desire. That's the difference. So check in with yourself regularly and ask yourself, is this busy activity? Is this keeping my day full? Or is it productive activity actually going to move me forward towards the goals that I have for myself? So that's the challenge for the day, to tap into you on a regular basis and question yourself with how you're spending those resources to determine, am I just busy, or am I actually being productive? Am I being intentional with how I'm spending my resources? And so that's the day's quote. Living intentionally is not about doing more, it's about doing more of what matters. So with that, Brian, since you were first, let me say hello. Good morning, Michael. Hello, Sonia. And there's Alexander. And Kim says, sounds so simple, right? Let me put that up there as well. Sounds so simple, right? But sometimes we need those reminders and pushes. Thank you. You are very welcome, Kim. And that's what, and look, I'm not just reminding you, I'm not pushing you. I am my first and my best and my worst student, right? So I'm talking to myself on a regular basis. I'm trying to make myself better. I'm reminding myself of the things that I need to do in order to keep moving forward. And you guys just have a bird's eye view to the training and the evolution that I'm going through as well. So let's see, Alexander. Oh, I love this. 20% of activities give 80% of profit. And I've seen that 80-20 rule in so many different ways, Alexander. It's like 20% of the people do 80% of the work. Because those the 20% are the ones who are willing to do what others won't, to have the things that they really want. You're committed, you're going to dig in, you're going to do sometimes the uncomfortable. But if that's what it takes for you to have the life that you desire, you're dug in and you're willing to take those steps. So thank you for that as well. I see Sonia on Instagram as well. I see my mom Joanne is there. Camille said you got this, Cassandra. Let's see, Soul Speaker, if you want to try it again, because I'm about to pitch it over to Jay. I'm sorry, to Brian. I'm so accustomed to saying Jay first, but you're second today, Jay. Brian beat you. So let me throw the quote back up there, and I'm gonna mute and pitch it over to you, Brian, to give us your thoughts. I can't hear you, Brian. Are you muted? Yeah, I still can't hear you. No audio, sir.
Audio, sir. No audio. Is that any better? All right. So I'm out here in the wilderness today, and I'm trying to be more intentional about getting my morning flow together. Today was a late start because I had a late evening yesterday, wrapping up for this workshop Annie and I have this afternoon. Um, it's a long night, but I'm here for it. I was intentional. I got up, made it to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show, meet with my fam five. And one of the things that comes to mind when I think about this quote about being intentional is about having objective, having a definite objective and setting goals. That's for me, that's everything. And that's not to say that I'm always on point with, keeping in line with accomplishing each one of my goals, but I know what the goal is. I know what my definite objective is, and I set those goals according to. For me, I have to look out a little bit further. I like to look at the big picture and then bring it back in. So I go by a 7-year calendar, and I break those goals down for my definite objective down into years and months and weeks and days. And the goals become tasks, the tasks become to do items, and the to do items become more manageable, right? When you start to break it down, you can start to see more intention in the things that you're doing, and you start to see how you're able to get them accomplished. If you start to, and we talked about it last night in our dadpreneur room. Jay was talking about it also. How do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? So you have to look at your goals and your objective in your life like that to be intentional. You have to take it one step at a time. And it starts with, for me, setting those goals and having a definite objective. And I'm reminded of a quote when I think about setting goals and having a definite objective and making a plan for my life. It's difficult, right? But the more difficult it is in the beginning, the better it is in the end. So that 80-20 rule, it not only applies to what you're doing, but it applies to what you expect to see. If you apply more intention in the beginning, then you'll get more of what you want in the end. And that's something my mom used to say. She used to say it when I was a kid all the time: get the hard work out of the way now. And when you get older, you can sit back and relax and enjoy your life more. So, if I had to leave everyone with one thing today, I would say the harder it is in the beginning, the better it is in the end. Put the work in now. Be more intentional.
I love that, Brian. The harder it is in the beginning, the sweeter, the more enjoyable, the bigger the reward on the other end. So do the work on the front end. I love that. We've got a few more people. Jay, you want to grab a few of those quotes and share? I've ignored my not intentionally my TikTok audience. I see you guys there. I saw Keith saying hello. uh Deacon Davis 7, Brenda H12, Queen. I'm loving the emojis that go with the name and how you spelt it. That's awesome. Jasmine 3365, Timothy King 785, V Pickens, Dawn Ellis, Joy. So many of you guys have joined, and I appreciate you all. Keith, thanks for liking the live. Cutie joined. All right, I'm liking that name, Cutie. Hello, welcome, Cynthia Bush, USS Diata. So we've got quite a few people coming through. Lisa said, "Good morning, Fam Five. Love the quote this morning. Reminds me of what my coach tells me: stop doing and start being." That's right. It's being and act, and to be, you have to be present. You have to be focused. You have to be in the moment. As when you're doing, you're still planning, you're looking forward, you're looking backwards. But when you arrive at the only point in time that really matters, which is right now, when you show up in the right now and you put that effort in now, you're being, you are being and creating an existence in that moment. And that's where, when you're in alignment there, there's so much power in that. So thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Let's see, Alexander, the main thing is to find right
Find,
people to
yeah.
create the right team. Very good. I agreed, and that's what we represent here, Alexander. We kind of found each other organically. We showed up in the same rooms and things. When we listened to each other, we saw and felt a synergy and a draw to one another. And what used to be a one woman show, just me, a talking head on my own for months and months and months, evolved into to what you guys see today, because I do have a team, and I have more than a team. I have a family in these guys. And so it's amazing to see that evolution, and being able to collaborate and be a part of something where you're supported, where your back is covered. COVID jumped on my back, and my team just got that much busier, and they kept the show going, while so that I wasn't trying to even participate. I could heal. I could take the rest I needed so my body could recover. So that I agree. With the right team in today's global world, we could move mountains. Absolutely, Alexander. I agree. Hello, Estrella. She's watching from the Philippines. Welcome. Who else do we see? I see Alicia. Good morning, sister. I'm glad you are here. So we've heard so far from me, and we've heard from Brian Smart. So let me read the quote one more time, and then we're going to come over to you, Jay, to hear your thoughts. Living intentionally is not about doing more. It's about doing more of what matters. Greg McKeown. So I'm going to mute Jay, and let's hear what you have to share with us this morning.
Jay, I have to cut you off. I'm sorry. I love you, brother. But if I can go in front of you, I would certainly appreciate it. It's Wednesday, it's hump day. I'm not I feel like I'm not flying at my greatest altitude. And so I need to go before you, Jay. And I appreciate you, brother. Brian made a great point about goal setting, and as I was looking at my goal setting book, my 3M goal setting book by Cassandra Terry, I was emphasizing the SMART goals: specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, and timely. Those goals, and remembering that model, and to put your goals to make sure your goals meet that standard, is the point I wanted to highlight from Brian's point this morning, because as we get more um, aligned, I'm starting to see that there's a lot more opportunities. There's a lot more challenges that are coming my way, and so in preparation for that, my alignment and knowing where it is that I'm going, what is my focus, what is it that is my goals, and really being specific about what my goals are, help me to remain focused, even though I feel like my challenges are increasing, the opportunities are increasing as well. And so I was moved by Brian's message to highlight um, uh, what I gleaned, what I received from your tool in the goal setting book, the 3M goal setting book, about specific uh, goal measurements, how you can obtain smart goals by making sure they're specific, measurable, obtainable, realistic, and timely, so that you know when you're being successful with your goals, if you're meeting your goals, or if you're not meeting your goals, and if there's a change, if there's a strategy that needs to be altered, so that you can meet your goals. And tip, that happens more than not. So we fail often, but again, just keep moving forward, stay positive. Even in that failure, you're learning how to be successful for the next time. And so thank you, Jay, for letting me go ahead of you. I appreciate I appreciate that, especially when you bring your Bible verse into it too. I feel like um, uh, you're great at batting cleanup this morning, and so I appreciate you letting little bro go in front of you and bring that note up from Miss Terry's workbook of SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
Thank you
Thank
for
y'all.
that. And you triggered something in Alexander. He said sometimes it's a problem to find what are really our goal, what our real goals are. And it's true. And so Eric was just talking about the workbook. Before we get to the goal setting in the workbook, I I encourage people to dream. And then the reason I say dream is because for a moment, you have to take all of the constraints off, the constraints of time, the constraints of money, the constraints of other obligations. And for a moment, just forget about all of that and just allow your dream to form. If you were doing exactly what you wanted to do, what would that be? Where would you be? Who would be with you? How would you be spending your time? What does that look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? Get your senses involved so you can really, really experience what it is that you want out of this life. We have a place down on the beach, and when and I can mentally escape there anytime. And when I want to go to the beach and I don't have it's not the weekend, right? It's the middle of the work week. So I know I can't get down there. I can spend a few moments visually there, but I don't just visualize that space. I feel the wind on my face. I smell the salt in the air, right? I can hear the birds calling, and I allow myself to immerse in that experience and actually dream it. Before we owned a beach house, we dreamed about having a beach house. So you have to actually, Alexander, get quiet with yourself and spend some time in that dreamlike state where you're just imagining the best version of your existence. When everything, if I could write what I'm doing right now and just create what my life would look like and how I would be spending my time and who I would surround myself with, think about that and allow yourself to dream. So you start there. And then as those dreams start to form and you see the things that you really want to do, where you really want to spend your time, what's really important to you, when you allow yourself to do that, now you're here, you're in the atmosphere right now, you're dreaming. So you take that dream and you go, okay, what are the actions I can take over the next 12 months to start to formulate, to start to solidify some of this dream? You may not be able to get the whole thing. If I couldn't buy the beach house in the beginning, I could certainly go Airbnb and spend some time there. feet in the sand, enjoying the space, aligning with what my dreams are. And then it's like, okay, I've experienced it. I'm sure that I want to spend more time here. What would that look like? How would I make it happen? And you build your long-term dream a year or more out. And then you do what Brian was talking about, Mr. Content. From there's 12 months in the year, right? There's 4 quarters. So if I'm trying to get to somewhere by the end of the year, we're going to start fresh. Let's pretend this is January. By the end of the year, I want to get somewhere. What can I commit to doing in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third, and the fourth quarter of the year to get there? All right. So now I've broken it down to a 90-day period. Each quarter has 3 months. So what am I committing to do in January, February, and March that's going to make sure that I hit the goals that I've set for the first quarter? Each month has 4 to 5 weeks. So what are the things I'm going to do each week? What am I committing to doing each week in the month of January to make sure that I hit the goals that I set for the quarter? What am I going to do in January? What am I going to do in February? What am I going to do in each month, each week of each month? And then you walk it back even farther. Each week has 7 days, but 2 of them we're going to take off and we're going to focus on those 5 typical work days of the week. What am I going to do each day in the first week of January? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the first week of January. What am I going to do so that I can make sure that I'm progressing towards the goals that I have for the month, which are going to propel me towards the goals that I have for the quarter, which are going to help me meet the goal that I have for the year. And you break it down. And guess what? When you know what you're going to do each day, now you've got to focus. You're intentional. You know exactly how you should be spending your time. And you can even break that down into hours. I time box my days. There's some parts in my day where I know that what I'm supposed to be doing is already committed to something. So my calendar has that blocked out. And then as I commit to other things, as I plan things for my day, you write it down. And that way I know at the end of each day, how successful has that day been? Did I knock off the things that I committed to doing? And I'm not saying every minute of every day has to be committed to something. We need downtime. We need time with family. So that gets blocked off. There's a stopping point so that me and my husband can watch our favorite show. Last night, he was like, time to put the phone down. Let's see what Tommy's about to do. So we had that time built in as couples time. I've got my calendar blocked in the morning, my work calendar, so that people don't schedule meetings over this time because I'm committed to being here at this time of every day, right? And so you take control of your calendar and you make sure that you're filling it with the things that are necessary for you to be productive, so that you're intentionally spending those resources and getting to what the goals that you have set for you. Life and people and circumstances will eat your time up, and you will be busy, busy, busy. And at the end of the day, the week, the month, the quarter, and the year, you'll have absolutely nothing to show for it if you're not intentional and you don't take some of that time and apply it to the things that are important to you. That's what today's all about. That's what that quote is all about. So I appreciate you saying that, Alexander, because it's true. Sometimes we don't even know what our goals are. And if you don't know what your goals are, what are you doing with your time? You can really spin your wheels. And like I said earlier, stay extremely busy. But are you accomplishing anything? Are you getting the things done that are important to you? Are you meeting your goals? Probably not. How do you meet a goal that doesn't even exist? Right? So it's really important that we take that time and we dream and we figure out what's important to us. Get to know you. Get everybody else's voices out of your head and really spend some time with you and get clear about what your desires are. And then you're ready to start goal setting from there. But it starts with knowing what you want. So thank you for sharing that, Alexander. I agree wholeheartedly. Lisa says, I want to start my mornings on a swing like Eric Clark. There you go, Eric, being an inspiration. All right, so let me put the quote back up here for you. Living intentionally is not about doing more, it's about doing more of what matters. Greg McKeown. So I am going to mute and pitch it over to you, Jay. Let us know what's on your mind.
Sure, absolutely. And as you know, we normally start out with a quote and actually a Bible verse. And so today it's Matthew chapter 16, verse 27. For the Son of Man is going to come with his angels in the glory of his Father, and then he will repay each person according to what he has done. And so, absolutely, we have to be intentional. Brian earlier was talking about what he's doing and how he's showing up. You know, in the South, I've grown fond of the saying, show up and show out. Not the bad show out now, the show out that we all need to do, and that we all need to bring to the table. And so it has to come with intentionality. And we were talking about this yesterday in the Dadpreneur, in the audio event there, and I was working at an organization where we had moved from one location to another. And in the new location, the wall, they said, okay, on this wall, we're going to put a pane of glass over the wall, and that is going to be your whiteboard. So the entire wall was my whiteboard. And that was significant. I didn't know how this was going to play out until I actually moved into the office. Now, the wall leading into my office was an actual glass wall, and you could see right into my office. And so I started writing my to do list and my done list and my goal list and all kinds of lists up on this whiteboard, the entire wall. And so it glared at me in my face every day, and I made it intentional that the letters were big enough to see, and they were all color coded. Okay, there's a little LCD there, but just a tad. Uh, but what we needed to do for me was to put it up on the board so that I knew where we were headed, what we were doing. And then because the actual wall to my office was glass, my team saw all of that on the wall. And that meant someone was going to hold me accountable, right? And and if you don't have the team like Alexander was talking about to hold you accountable, then there may not be any movement going forward. That intentionality, right? You can be well intentioned all you want, but if nobody's going to hold you accountable, oh boy, it's just going to stay a goal on the wall. And so that to me is important. When you have that intentionality, hold yourself accountable, right? And to me, that's the Bible verse I read. Uh, at the end of the day, there's going to be a judgment. At the end of your life, there's going to be a judgment. And so to me, that is my accountability. In your work life, your team could be your accountability team, right? So walk with intentionality, hold yourself accountable. And if you have a team or a community that you can lean on, have them hold you accountable. Because then that intentionality only gets better. It actually becomes implementation, not just intentional. So I just thought I would bring that perspective to the group this morning. I think it's definitely important for us to come in with the intention that you're going to have a positive impact. Today, I'm not feeling well. Yeah, huh? But I'm showing up because I feel it's important. So there you go. Back to you, Cassandra.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, great. My mic was giving me a error message, so I was a little worried, but I'm glad. Lisa, my dear friend who talks about menopause all the time, this is my menopause fan. I intentionally have it sitting next to my laptop because when the AC and the overhead fan won't do, I can get a little extra breeze going on. Lisa and I do a room together on LinkedIn, and it's about menopause and that whole process for women. And so that's one of the things you guys will find. I'm about as transparent as it comes. And right now, these hot flashes are whoo. They are giving me the blues. So outside in that cool breeze looks really good right now, Eric. So I wish I could join you. I'm like Lisa. I would love to be out there on that swing, hitting some cool air. So Jay, thank you so much for sharing that. I saw a few more folks on. Let's see. Give me just 1 second. Man, there's so many that came through. I've probably missed most of you, so I won't even try at the moment. Um, huh. Thank you guys for the follows. Othniel. I know I'm saying your name wrong, so forgive me for that. But I see you followed, and I appreciate that. When I get back on TikTok, I will follow you, all you guys back that followed. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. LaKay, 0420. Thank you for joining. I don't know if you see any more comments. I saw a comment that flashed by across my screen where I don't know if it was a Joseph or a Joshua. I think a Joseph said they were seeing us for the first time and was enjoying it, the podcast and wanted to thank us for it. But for some reason, that one didn't show up. So it may be showing up on yours, Brian, um, on your feed. So, but thank you so much for that. We're getting close to wrapping up. Eric is sharing for those of you on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. You can see the sun shining through the trees. He's out there grounding, getting his day started like he does every day. I think Eric grounds multiple times a day, but he starts his day outside with his feet in the grass. And even though it's cold where he is, having that connection with nature, being intentional about. Jay said, I'm not going to be able to do it. It's too cold. But that is a part of his practice. He grounds daily and connects with nature, and he's really intentional about it. And I believe he's seeing the benefits of it. So we'll have to talk about that on another show, Eric. What benefits you're experiencing from your grounding?
Absolutely, especially when it deals with grieving. As we know,
Yeah.
I'm really grieving right now, and
Yeah.
it has been instrumental in my ability to progress with my goals while grieving. Because grieving, especially as someone as emotionally as aware of me, used to, I won't say debilitate, but it used to be challenging to grieve and also accomplish the goals or the missions of the day. Um, but this different perspective and this different understanding and follow through with the practices has felt more like I haven't lost the energy transition. I talk to my grandmother every day. I talk to my grandmother more now um, than before, and I talk to her all the time. She's my best friend, and so she remains my best friend. And so I asked her yesterday if she saw anybody with tattoos in heaven, um, for which she got a chuckle, and she didn't respond. She gave me a look. Um, and so we had a conversation this morning. I'll keep that one to myself. But yeah, we still connected, and so I look forward to that conversation. I think that'll be a great one that we can talk about just grieving and what that looks like. And it kind of reminds me of the conversation I was having with Brian and Jay about masculinity, and how we need to talk more about what that looks like now and how to be healthy, and still be a man. And so yeah, we'll get into that. Thank you for inspiring that, Cassandra.
Absolutely. And we haven't spoken about it publicly on the Cassandra Terry Morning Show because it was, it wasn't our hours to share. But our heart goes out to you, and we are lifting you up. We are praying for you and your family as you do grieve the loss of your grandmother. And you allowed us to take some of that journey with you over these last few weeks, and we appreciate that. Jay talking about not feeling well, Eric grieving. Brian, we know you've been going through. Not only are you building and preparing, and you were up late last night because you have your workshop today, but you also have your own life and things that you're dealing with as well. Yet here you are. Denise is all the way in Grenada, and she only because of a meeting is the only reason she's not here today. She's been figuring out how to make it work and stay connected with us in a place where her connectivity is not that great, but she's been showing up, and that's the power of collaboration. That's the power of team. That's the power of family. And our first family is the one that we are born into, but often our most impactful family is the one that we choose. It's the people that we choose to spend our time around because they're pouring in, not because they have to, not because of DNA, not because of what you do for them or what they, just because, not because of proximity, but just because there's something that's pulling the group together. And I think with everybody going through what they're going through and still making time to be here and support me and the morning show, I just have to give you guys a heartfelt thank you for that. I knew something had to be off because Jay slid in at the last possible minute. And sometimes I log in and he's here before me. So I'm sorry to hear that you are not feeling well, brother. So take care of yourself. And Alexander, everything that you've said about, collaboration and things is just ringing really even louder in my head right now, knowing that everybody is doing the best that we can in our own lives, but still choosing and making time to be here and following that commitment and being intentional about spending this time together and sharing this part of our lives with each one of you. And you guys have been active today. There's been so many comments everywhere. I see the hearts flying on TikTok. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I will get better. I feel like on TikTok is where I do the most, do the worst. There's so many names flying by so quickly. I don't know who's actually sticking and who's just passed by. But I see you guys and I appreciate you, even if I don't do as good of a job of as calling out your names. I'm working on it. I try to remind people when I'm looking this way, I have my tablet here and I'm connecting with the TikTok audience. When I'm looking straight ahead, I'm on my laptop and I'm talking to the people on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And when I'm looking here, I have my phone in a cage and I'm talking to the Instagram audience. And so we're live in all of those locations at once. And to have a team of folks that are helping and supporting and filling in when I can't be here it's a real blessing. And I am not only embracing, but I'm enjoying the journey. The journey is so much better as a collective. It was great when I was doing it on my own. I loved what I was doing, but now to have you guys with me every day is wonderful, and I appreciate it. And I feel the same way about every one of you who stopped by on the different social media platforms. You were intentional about spending this time, and I hope it was time well spent. I hope that you got at least one thing. The one thing I'll say, Alexander brought up an 80-20 rule not too long ago. And those are usually not positive statistics for whatever reason. But there's another 80-20, and it's actually 85-15. that I read that 85% of individuals who attend classes, read books, go to webinars, take training, whatever the case may be, they do nothing with the information. You get excited in the moment, you hear it for a moment, and then you get back into your daily routine, and that grind of the daily routine kind of pushes it right out of you. That excitement is short-lived. And we're here every single day giving you multiple opportunities to take just one thing. Sometimes, like Brian said, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So if there was just one thing that you heard today that you can incorporate into your daily practice, into the way that you move in the world, into how you live your life, if you take that one thing and do that, you're affecting change because you're doing something different. If you do something different, you can expect your results to change, right? So just even if it's just, I'm going to write down 3 things today that I'm going to make sure I get done. And tomorrow I'm going to write down 3 things and make sure I get those things done. Building a habit of planning and committing and implementing your plan will take you so far. And that's what being intentional is. Having a plan, sticking to it, being committed, and making sure that you're spending some of your time every single day on the activities that are going to move you towards the life that you desire. We've got lots of stuff that we have to do, but what are the things that you need to do to have the life that you want? Good morning, Amani. Thanks for joining. Is that my niece, Amani? It sure looks like it. The picture's so small, but that sure looks like you, sweetheart. So I want to make sure that you grab that one thing. One thing. And she said it is. I love you. Thank you for joining. Grab that one thing and commit to yourself that this is something that I'm going to incorporate into my life, and I'm going to practice it. I'm going to do it every day, and I'm going to practice it, and I'm going to practice it until it becomes a part of, until it gets integrated in, and it's just a part of how you live your life. And then you grab the next thing. Don't try to eat the whole elephant at once. Find your bite, and your bite is your bite. It's not a right or a wrong bite. The idea is to do something with the information that you're receiving. Do something different. What are you going to do today that you find that for you? You don't owe me an answer. This is all for you. I'm not judge, juror, or executioner. I'm just providing some info and hoping that you grab something from it that's going to make your experience better, that's going to get you closer to your dreams. That's what it's about. Angelica said, practice makes perfect. Absolutely. And don't overwhelm yourself. That's where we fall. That's why we dream, and then we take those big goals, and then we start breaking them down until we get all the way back to daily task. Because if you're trying to get all the way to the end, you get overwhelmed. It seems like it's going to take forever. You talk yourself out of it. You get frustrated. So let's know what the end goal is. We want to know where we're trying to go. But first you got to walk out of the house, get in the car, start the car, back out of the driveway, right? Do you take a left? Do you take a right? You have to chart your route. So you want to know where you're going, but each one of those individual steps is how you're actually going to get there. You're not going to get from point A to point B if you never walk out the front door. It's not enough just to stand in the yard. You actually have to get in the car. You're just hanging out in your car until you crank it up. So each step requires action. So you've got that end goal in mind, but there's so many micro steps along the way that are going to get you there. And every one of those steps is important. Every one of those steps should be celebrated. Every time you see yourself taking the necessary action to get where it is you want to go, that should encourage you. You should be, look at me. I'm getting it done. I'm getting it done. And that's important because that gives you what you need to keep going. So on those days where the negative thoughts are popping in, or you've got something in the external that's pulling at you, you can look back and go, I may not be where I want to. Not yet. I'm not there yet, but I'm not where I was. I'm making progress day by day, step by step, choice by choice. I'm getting there. And that's the only comparison that you should do. Compare to from where you were to where you are and celebrate that advancement. And when in that comparison you find yourself off course, make the necessary adjustments, and get right back on. That's what this life is, step by step, day by day, choice by choice, trying to get where it is you were designed to go, because we're all uniquely designed to contribute something to this world. So do that dreaming, Alexander. Figure out what's planted in you. What is your unique gift to the world? Where should you be cultivating that gift? And then put your plan in place to get there. And that will be a life well lived, according to you, because you've lived your life in a way that supports what it is that you were designed to do. There's no better life than that. So, with that, we're going to wrap it up. Fam Five, thank you guys so much for being you and for supporting me. Everyone who's hung out with us today, I appreciate you so much. And we will be back here tomorrow for what's tomorrow? Thursday. Thankful Thursday. So tomorrow is our day of gratitude, and we talk about gratitude as a tool, just like we talked about being intentional today. We talk about gratitude as a tool to have the things that you like, that you desire as well. And there was a couple of I have a request. Some of you guys have been around for quite a while, and you're soaking up, what we're putting out. I'm in the middle of building something and updating my website, and I need testimonials. So if you've been hanging around for a bit and you've gotten something out of what I've been sharing, if you've caught me in the audio rooms or in any way, if you've used any of my offerings like the goal setting workbook or my courses, if you've experienced any of that, I would so appreciate a testimonial. A video would be great. LinkedIn allows you to do 2 minutes or less. You could DM it to me. If it's not a video, send me a couple of lines and give me permission to use your profile picture. I'm trying to build up this website and relaunch it, and I want to put some fresh testimonials on there. And a lot of us spend a lot of time together every single week, so I believe you're getting value, or you wouldn't keep coming back. So if you are so moved, I would appreciate you guys dropping me a video or a text and photo message that gives me a little bit about what your experience has been, that I can use on my website and on some campaigns that I'm getting ready to kick off during the holiday season. I would appreciate that very, very much. So that is my ask for today. You guys can find me under my name, Cassandra Terry, on LinkedIn. And I'm going to start looking for those videos and testimonials, because what you put out there is what you receive. A closed mouth doesn't get fed. So I can't expect you to support me if I never ask you to. So this is a way that you guys can actually give back and support, and it would be really appreciated and help me. Alexander said, I think I could help you. Well, I appreciate that, Alexander. And I hope quite a few of you will shoot those videos over or send me a write up of what you're getting from the time that we're spending together. All right, Fam Five, anything you guys need to add before we go?
No, not really. I just want to say that, um, you know, there are people, going back to what Alexander was talking about, there are people that are going to be in your life that are going to want to lean on you at some time or another.
Mhm.
But if we have built community and we are authentic and we need help too, being accountable to one another, lean back, lean back, lean back on the people who lean on you, because if you're pouring into them, they will pour back into you. So just going back to talking about teams and relying on that community that you call family. So I just want to share that with you. And when you weren't on the Cassandra Terry morning show, we couldn't do it without you. We really couldn't, because it's the Cassandra Terry morning show. But for you, we showed up. And that's the intentionality that we all were thinking about, and the ability to show up for one another and leaning on one another. So just another thought.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jay. And
Even showed out in a good way.
Lisa said earlier, always love to hear your perspective, Jay Pasqua.
I was saying we even showed out in a good way. So we definitely want to continue to lift you up and support you anytime you're sick or out or got a trip. We will hold you down, sis. No doubt, no doubt. We love the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. So look forward to continue supporting you. We'll be here for you whenever you have other things that you need to do. So have no fear. Fan 5 is here.
I appreciate
And that was like Dr. Seuss. Yeah,
exactly. I was like,
I'm coming into Brian territory, and just wait. I was noticing the Fat Joe lyrics that Jay was using, right? I even leaned back. I think Brian caught that. So
yeah.
Right. So I think we're all on to you, Brian, with these Dr. Seuss rhymes. So we coming for you.
It's always a good time for a Brian Smart rhyme. What you got for us, Brian?
Look, you just did it. I got nothing. Y'all killing me today. You ended it. It's always time for a Brian Smart rhyme. I'm done.
All right, Alexander, I see your message, and yes, I will send you a direct message as soon as I get a moment this morning. I will reach out. So thank you for that. All right, so we are going to call it here. Thank you guys once again so much for all of your participation and for your support. I will be looking for those videos. And Eric, thank you for the beautiful act. Actually, you and Brian have that sun shining, and it almost looks like you guys are in the same place. But we are going to call it a day. We will be back here tomorrow, 7:15 Central, for Thankful Thursday, where we will take a look at gratitude, just like we did intentionality today. You guys be blessed. Have a great day on purpose. Be intentional. Have a great day on purpose. Decide what a great day is for you. Write down a couple of things that you're going to do to make it so, and then put the energy behind it and actually implement those things. So have a great day on purpose. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 7:15 a.m. for Thankful Thursday. That is it for the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Thanks, everybody. Be blessed.